Hi everyone, my name is Jordan, or better known as Miss B the Kindy, and today I'm going to take you through my classroom tour and setup. So before we get started, I quickly want to talk about some things I do, some tips, before you start decorating and putting things in your classroom. So before you just go on Amazon, spend a bunch of money, get an inventory of what the furniture looks like in your room. Where do you want to place your tables, your chairs? Where are children going to benefit most inside your classroom? They need to be able to access items quickly and efficiently. And also as the teacher, you need to drive your instruction in a great way. So sometimes the cutesy stuff isn't always the best. So I'm going to talk about my 7 years of experience I've had in the classroom, 2 different schools I've taught at, what I do and what best helps my students in kindergarten. So one of my favorite things that our district got us was Smartboards for every classroom. These are the ones with the wheels on the bottom. This is a great thing that I use. I use it every day to teach. Technology is something big in the classroom. So I put it at the front and center of my room so that my children will be sitting on the floor. So I use these things called Velcro Dots. And what I do is I place each one a couple, inches or 2 apart. And these are what the children sit on instead of using a classroom rug. I've learned that these are more efficient. I can spread them out easier. And the rug sometimes takes up too much room. These are also from Amazon and they're great for the kids to sit on and pick up and move if you need to. So this is like my daily board. And what I use this for is the date. I always have the date displayed for students. I have tins frames where we count our days at school. I also make sure that the children know what they're doing each part of the day. So I have the time, the subject or activity, and then I use this magnetic paw to move it. I also display where the children are going for out class. So library, PE, music, sometimes people call that specials, but I have the children know where they're going each day so that they can prepare. On top of that, I also show them their class jobs, and in kindergarten, I like to display what's for lunch and have the children have responsibility for signing up for lunch so they know what they're doing. So I'm really creative. I like to make a lot of my things. So these book characters I actually made, and I like to use them around my room. It just is something simple, and a lot of the kids can make connections with their favorite book characters. These are our iPads. We use them during center time for literacy and math centers, as well as when the students have to take an assessment independently. Probably my favorite part of my classroom is my classroom library. Now, I know that every class is different with how they display their library. In the past, in my old school, I actually used bookshelves to display the books, but then I bought these shelves that can be built up, and I break them down into 2. And then I put the books by genre. So I really like to do books by genre. So I have animals, plants, and science. And then I use this fun sticker system. So in the animals, plants, and science, it's orange. So the children can pull a book from there. They'll know if they wrote it out their seat or they're reading it at home. When they return it, they need to place it back in the orange tub. So that's how my class library works. I have a ton of books. That was something I recommend if you are a new teacher. You start collecting books that summer you're about to begin your teaching journey, or even when you're in college, go to garage sales, ask teachers who are retiring, or even families in the neighborhood whose children might be done with books. You can use them. Moving on, we have our secret stories. Now, if you don't know what secret stories are, I highly recommend that you hop on their website and you do a little research with them. They're a fun way for children to learn the hard parts of reading. So I've had the secrets in my room for 4 years now, and I can promise you they are the best way for children to learn to read those tough words. So for example, or, it comes with a book that tells a story. So you tell the story like, or O and R go together, a bike or a cake or the playground. And then the children can make that connection that this is an R-controlled vowel. And then when they see it in the book or in their writing, that they know that those two letters make one sound. So there's a ton of different stories. I make connections every day, and then we review with my students. Even though it's kindergarten, they'll understand it. I haven't done my birthday wall yet, but what I'm going to do is I have this cupcake or donut display I bought on TPT, and I'm going to hang their birthdays here. That way they can see them. It's always great to display your children's birthdays. And then I use mnemonics for my alphabet wall. Mnemonics are pictures that are shaped like the actual letter. So the apple is shaped like the letter A. And then on top of that, I use kind of like a sound wall for what your mouth should look like with the letter. So then when I'm over here at my table in my small groups or I'm teaching from the front, I can reference what your mouth should look like. Especially in kindergarten, the children need to know that mouth and what it should look like when they're producing the letter sound. So I include that on my alphabet wall. Next is my dramatic play area. I know that kindergarten has changed a lot, especially since I've been in kindergarten, but I still believe in play for children. So right here, my dad actually built me this. Originally it was an ice cream stand, but now I change it every so months. So the first one I'm going to do is actually a grocery store. One of my old coworkers gave me these shelves, so I'm going to put like the little grocery items here, hang a sign, and let the children play when we can carve out time during our schedule. I also got this little table on Amazon where they can sit, and it can be utilized during their center time too, when I have them sit at their desks or during reading time. One thing that I learned when I was a student teacher is you do not have to have a teacher desk. I think it takes up too much space. So my small group table, or the kids like to call it, we call it my kidney bean table. This is my desk, and this is where I do all my work. This is where I get on the computer if I need to, and this is where I meet with my children. I really don't like having a separate desk because I just learned over the years that things pile up, it takes up too much room, and it's just something I really don't like. So my desk and table is the center of everything. I can see who's coming in my room. I can see who's leaving my room. I can also run the room from here. So if I see a student doing something over there or over here, I can redirect and I can have all eyes on my children from this spot. One thing that I purchased last year was a little rolly cart. So since my desk is right here, I can easily roll this with me. If I need to take it up to the front of the room, I roll it with me. It has all my supplies on it, from my pens to my timer to my tape stapler, and then eventually it fills up as the school year goes on. And this is what I use to store, manipulatives I might be using with the children in their small groups. If I have a paper I need to copy, I can just stick it on here, roll it back right here, and it's just the best. I also use these tags that say do not touch, so the children learn quickly that some items in the room are just meant for the teacher and that you should not be touching them. This little cart was from Walmart, and I love it because I created these labels where I stick things in. So if I need to grade something, they'll go in here. Their assessments, things I need to copy, things for my team I need to give them, handouts that need to go in their folders, and then any worksheet that we're doing as a class or I'm doing with the students in their small group, they will go in these drawers, and I'll know on Monday I need to do a social studies worksheet, and that's what we will be doing during that time. This little area is a work in progress, so I actually ordered 2 more of the little black shelves, and since I do have more students this year, I'm going to be storing their water bottles and lunch boxes on these. So I will build 2 more, and the children will put their lunch boxes on top. In the middle section, they will put their water bottles, and then on the bottom, each grouped table, I do table colors, will put their snacks on the bottom. Water bottles on their desks aren't always the best option. They leak, they spill, so I have a separate area where they can come grab, take a sip anytime they want to throughout the school day. This is my countertop. My countertop is used for turning in things. Their daily folders will go here, and another folder that goes home will go here. I also use class mailboxes, so their names will go on these binder clips. And I simply just print their names, I stick it on here, and they know that their name on the bottom means that they will grab from here. This year, I'm going to be using these book bins from the dollar store. These book bins are going to be to store their headphones, their QR codes to get on the iPad, and probably their reading bag or handwriting notebook. I haven't decided yet. They will have their picture on here, and then the students know that when it's that time that they need to use it during centers, they're going to come grab their box, take it to their seat, and they can keep it there until their center time is over. One thing I also like to do is stay organized. As a teacher, it is amazing to stay organized because children love having someone who is organized. So I created these labels on my computer, so every shelf, every cabinet that you see will have something saying what's inside. And it just helps me remember where to place things instead of just throwing them on my table or shoving them somewhere. It's good to have a good organization system for yourself because that reflects on your students. One thing I also made this summer was these sheets. So I love doing STEM bins, playing when they have their playtime. In the mornings when they come in, they'll take a STEM bin to their table and play with their table friends. So instead of putting them all in one cabinet, it was becoming a mess. So I use some pictures, and whatever's on here goes in this cabinet. I love using these bags. These bags are on Amazon, these zipper bags. They are the best for storing toy items, anything they play with. And I'm actually going to use these bags to put their headphones in this year because they don't fall apart. They're easy for the little ones to take their fingers and zip because they have this. So it's something to think about if you are in the younger grades, a great way to store items. And I probably need to clean that out. So my center system works like this. During math, there's 4 rounds, and during reading, there are 3. So we have a longer math block, and what I do is math is orange. So their notebooks are orange, the labels are orange, and I do these games, and they're inside. It will take time to teach your children how to play the games. So really spend time going over rules and procedures those first couple months of school, and then continue them throughout the school year. So my games are in here. So this is simply one I made. Again, I can't stress how amazing these zipper bags are. These are the smaller ones. So I keep like the small supplies in there. If they're using cubes, the cubes will go in here. For this game, I put the cards inside, and the children know how to clean them up, put them back, and I teach them to put the top on top and place it back. So there's 15 centers. I change them usually every month, depending on what unit we're doing. Finally, we'll move on to their desks. Their chairs each have a little pocket. One thing I also put on their tables are these white baskets from Target and the labels I made. I also got these cups from Target. They will store their pencil boxes in here. And then as a community cup, I put Expo markers, dry erase markers. And then I put regular markers in here for them to share at their tables. It just simply goes right in the center of their table. This is another cart I use. Originally, I was using this for my small group storage, but it was not working out. So now this is like an art cart. It has construction paper for all the different colors in the rainbow. These are crowns, markers, the smelly markers, and skin colors the children will share when we're doing a writing or a craft activity. And then I have some of my manipulatives and small group storage over here that I continue to use. Kindergarten is also the best because they have their own bathroom inside. Since I have the Smartboard, I invested in one of these rolly carts, and this is where I put the wireless keyboard on when I'm teaching a lesson. So I could even be standing here showing the students when I'm not right in front of it. And I also use this for my document camera. That's the camera that plugs into the back and you pull it up and the kids can see what you're writing underneath. So that's how I model my writer's workshop with this rolly cart. And it can easily move around your room and out of your way. Finally, I have a lot of boxes everywhere because we do have Meet the Teacher coming up. And this is how I have them drop off their supplies. They will just go through each box, drop the items in them, and I created those labels so they know where the items go. I hope you enjoyed my classroom tour. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. And I hope if you're a new teacher, you have a great school year. I hope some of the tips I gave in this video really helped you out. And if you have any tips and you are a teacher, please leave them in the comments below as well. I'm always looking for new ideas for my classroom. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see everyone in the next video.